Taurus, while you're living your life, someone very close to you is carrying a weight you can't even imagine. This person looks at you every day, smiles, acts normally, but inside they're fighting battles you're completely unaware of. And you know what's most impressive? They chose to suffer in silence, precisely so that you don't have to suffer. They're absorbing pain, worries, and fears that should be shared, but which they decided to carry alone to protect you. Right now, as you watch this video, this person may be thinking about you, wondering if they made the right decisions, whether or not they should reveal what they've been keeping hidden. I'm talking about a real person in your life, flesh and blood, who is making invisible sacrifices for you. And the most poignant thing about all this is that you'll probably never discover half of what this person has done and continues to do behind the scenes of your existence. They want it that way. They want to protect you not only from pain, but also from the guilt of knowing that someone is suffering because of you. But the time has come for you to know, not to make you feel bad, but so that you can finally recognize, value, and perhaps even alleviate some of the burden that this person carries alone. I'm going to show you the signs you've been ignoring, the subtext you haven't been able to read, the silences that meant much more than you imagined. And most importantly, I'm going to help you understand why this person chose this path of silent protection and what you can do now that you're becoming aware of it. Are you ready to discover that while you thought you were facing life alone, there was someone invisible by your side, carrying half the weight without you realizing it? Taurus, you need to understand something about your nature. You attract protectors. There's something about you that makes certain people feel a deep urge to protect you, to spare you suffering, to create a safe environment around you. Perhaps it's your essence of trust and loyalty that inspires others to be loyal to you in return. Perhaps it's the way you value stability that makes others want to ensure you have it. Or perhaps it's simply because you, even without realizing it, touch people's hearts in a special way that awakens in them the desire to take care of you. And there's someone specific in your life who has taken that protector role to a level you can't even imagine. This person saw you go through difficult times and, instead of just offering words of comfort, acted concretely behind the scenes to make your life easier. When you thought you achieved something through your own merit, you didn't imagine that this person had prepared the groundwork beforehand. When you felt lucky that something worked out, you didn't know that they had discreetly intervened to ensure that result. When you slept peacefully, you didn't realize that they spent the night awake, solving problems that could affect you. But why did this person choose to suffer in silence instead of sharing the burden with you? The answer is both simple and profoundly touching, because they love you in a way that goes beyond ordinary love. It's not the kind of love that seeks recognition or reciprocation. It's the kind of love that finds satisfaction simply in knowing you're okay, even if you never discover the role they played in it. It's the kind of love that understands that sometimes the greatest proof of care is carrying burdens alone, so that the other can fly free. When was the last time you stopped to think about the people around you and wondered what they might be carrying that you are completely unaware of? Let me give you some concrete examples of how this silent suffering might be manifesting in the life of someone close to you. Perhaps it's a father or mother who is facing far greater financial difficulties than they show, but who continues to ensure you don't go without, even if it means they themselves go without. Perhaps it's a partner who is dealing with deep fears about your future, but who keeps a smile on their face because they don't want to transfer that anxiety to you. Perhaps it's a friend who is secretly solving problems that could affect you, using their own resources and energy without ever mentioning it. It could be someone who is facing an illness or health challenge, but is hiding it from you so as not to worry you. It could be someone who gave up important opportunities in their own life to ensure you had yours. It could be someone mediating conflicts you don't even know you're involved in, protecting your peace and reputation in circles you're not even aware of. It could be someone who absorbs criticism directed at you, defending you even when you're not there to defend yourself. Silent suffering has many faces, Taurus. And the characteristic they all share is this: the person who suffers considers this sacrifice a small price to pay for their peace of mind. They look at you and think, it's worth it. Every sleepless night, every worry carried alone, every tear shed in private, all of this is worth it because you are well, because you are protected, because you can live your life without carrying burdens they chose to carry for you. Can you feel the magnitude of this love? Can you imagine how much someone needs to value you to make such profound choices without expecting recognition? Taurus, now I'm going to reveal something that might deeply affect you. This person who is protecting you is tired. Not physically or emotionally exhausted to the point of giving up on you, never, but tired of carrying everything alone. They will never admit this to you directly, because that admission would go against the whole purpose of silent protection. But deep in their heart, there's a secret desire for you to notice, even without them needing to speak. A desire for you to look into their eyes and see beyond the smile and apparent strength. A desire for you to acknowledge the sacrifices they've made without them needing to list each one. And you know what's even more touching? Even when exhausted, she would continue carrying everything alone, indefinitely. Because for her, protecting you isn't an optional burden that can be set aside when things get difficult. It's part of her identity in relation to you. It's how she expresses the love she feels. It's the language she chose to show you how much you matter, even if it's a language you weren't reading until now. But there are signs she's been giving, subtle signs that you may have misinterpreted, those moments when she seemed distant or worried, and when you asked what was wrong, she said nothing with a forced smile. You accepted the answer because it was more comfortable to believe everything was fine. Those times when she quickly changed the subject, when the conversation approached certain sensitive topics. You didn't insist because you respected her boundaries. Without realizing, she was protecting you from information she considered too heavy for you to carry. Those long silences where she seemed to be internally struggling to decide whether or not to tell you something important. You interpreted them as normal moments of reflection without realizing she was waging internal battles between the desire to share the burden and the instinct to protect you. Those times when she hugged you tighter than usual, held your hand more tightly, or looked at you with an intensity you couldn't fully decipher. Those were moments when the weight she carried almost overflowed, but she managed to contain it before you even noticed. The signs have always been there, Taurus. The thing is, you, as a typical Taurus, are so focused on creating your own stability and security that you sometimes don't notice the silent struggles of the people around you. You assume that if something really important were happening, the person would tell you, but you haven't taken into account that some people consider your role as protector so sacred that they would rather carry mountains alone than put a pebble on your shoulders. And here's the part that will make you rethink many interactions you've had recently. This person has been giving signs not only that they are carrying a burden, but also that they need to be seen, recognized, and valued. Not in a dramatic or demanding way, but through small gestures and comments that you may have missed. When they casually mentioned being tired, it wasn't just physical tiredness. It was a veiled request for you to notice that they are trying very hard. When they made a seemingly random comment about feeling lonely or misunderstood, it wasn't a general complaint about life. It was a subtle invitation for you to look more deeply into what they might be facing. When she asked you if you were truly happy or fulfilled, it wasn't just curiosity. It was her checking if the sacrifices she's made are paying off, if you're enjoying the freedom and peace she's worked so hard to provide you. When she showed special interest in your days, your challenges, your successes, it wasn't just casual conversation. It was her seeking confirmation that her invisible work is generating the results she hoped for you. Have you been paying enough attention to pick up on these messages between the lines? Taurus, now I need to ask you a difficult question. What are you going to do with this information? Now that you know someone is suffering in silence to protect you, how will you act? Because you basically have three choices. The first is to pretend you never watched this video, continue living as before, letting this person carry everything alone while you enjoy the protection without acknowledging it. I won't judge you if you choose this path. It's human to want to avoid the discomfort of confronting difficult realities. The second option is to confront this person directly, forcing them to admit everything they've done and carried. But I warn you, this approach will likely cause them to withdraw even further. People who choose silent protection don't respond well to direct confrontations. They will deny, minimize, change the subject because openly admitting it would destroy the very nature of the sacrifice they chose to make. The third choice, and the one I consider the wisest and most compassionate, is to begin demonstrating that you are noticing. Not through grand pronouncements or dramatic confrontations, but through genuine attention, a more complete presence, and small gestures that show you see beyond the facade. Start asking deeper questions and truly listen to the answers, paying attention not only to what is said, but also to what is left unsaid. Create safe spaces where this person can, if they wish, let their guard down without feeling like they are overwhelming you. Show gratitude not only for obvious favors, but also for things you previously took for granted. Offer help even when it's not asked for. Demonstrate that you too are willing to carry weight, to protect, to be strong when necessary. Because here's a profound truth: the person protecting you needs protection too. They just never asked because they assumed that wasn't their role to receive, only to give. Imagine how revolutionary it would be for that person to realize that you are beginning to see, understand, and value everything they do without them needing to ask for recognition. Imagine the relief they would feel, realizing they can finally share at least some of the weight they've been carrying alone. Not because you forced or demanded it, but because you created a space where they feel safe enough to be vulnerable too. Are you willing to become the protector of the one who has always protected you? Taurus, let me tell you something about the nature of deep relationships. They require both parties to be capable of both receiving and giving protection, care, and support. When only one person is always in the role of protector and the other always in the role of protected, an imbalance is created that can eventually cause resentment or burnout. It's not that the person protecting you will stop loving you or wanting to protect you, but they may begin to feel invisible, undervalued, and alone even when they are by your side. And here's something you may not have considered. By allowing someone to carry everything alone, you are actually depriving that person of the experience of being cared for as well. You are unintentionally reinforcing their belief that their value lies only in serving, protecting, and sacrificing, never in receiving. And that's neither fair nor healthy for them, no matter how much they insist that everything is fine and that they chose this path. True love, the kind of love that sustains deep and lasting relationships, is reciprocal. It doesn't mean it always has to be 50-50 at every moment. There will be phases where one person carries more and phases where the other carries more. But overall, there needs to be a two-way flow, a dance where both have the opportunity to be strong and vulnerable, protectors and protected. And perhaps it's time for you to learn the steps of this dance that you've been letting your special someone dance alone. Now, I'm going to reveal something that might surprise you. The person who is silently protecting you isn't just a victim in this situation. They also chose this role, perhaps even deriving some sense of purpose from it. But that doesn't mean you should passively accept their sacrifices. Recognizing and valuing what they do, offering reciprocity, creating balance, these actions don't diminish their sacrifices. In fact, they truly honor them, showing that these sacrifices weren't in vain, that you are worthy of the love you received, that you are willing to grow and become someone who also protects and cares. Pay attention not only to what they say, but especially to what they don't say. Notice the facial expressions that pass quickly before being replaced by their usual smile. Listen to the almost imperceptible sighs, the pauses before answering your questions, the moments when they seem to be millions of miles away, even when they are right beside you. Pay attention to those who always ask how you are, but never truly share how they are doing. To those who always have time for you, but never seem to have time for themselves. To those who consistently put your needs before their own, so consistently that you no longer even question it. To those who celebrate your victories with genuine enthusiasm, but downplay their own achievements. This is most likely the person who is suffering in silence to protect you. And when you identify that person, and you will, because now your eyes have been opened to see, start small. You don't need to confront, you don't need to make an elaborate speech, you don't need to turn it into a dramatic moment. Just start by being more present. Look into their eyes for longer. When they ask how you are after answering, genuinely ask how they are. And when they give the automatic response of, "I'm fine," delve deeper. No, how are you really? You might be surprised by what comes after that second question. Offer help with specific things, not just a generic, "let me know if you need anything," because people who carry weight alone will never ask for help. You need to offer concretely, "Let me do this for you. I'll take care of it. Rest while I sort it out." And don't easily accept polite refusals. Gently insist, showing that you really want to lighten their load, not just be polite. Express gratitude in specific ways. Instead of a generic "thank you for everything," say, "Thank you for that specific thing you did that day that made my life so much easier." Show that you're paying attention, that you notice the details, that nothing she does goes unnoticed. For someone who is used to sacrificing in silence, being truly seen and recognized can be a profound and healing emotional experience. Taurus, there is a powerful transformation that happens when you stop living unconsciously of the sacrifices others make for you and begin to live with active gratitude and genuine reciprocity. You don't become a worse person for realizing someone is carrying burdens for you. You become a better person by choosing to do something about it. You grow, mature, become more compassionate, more attentive, more capable of deep and reciprocal love. And the person who is protecting you will feel this change in you. They will realize that you are becoming someone who not only receives love, but also knows how to give love in the way they need to receive it. And this will transform your relationship from a one-way street to a two-way street, where both can both give and receive, both protect and be protected, both be strong and vulnerable. Here's a final truth I need to share with you. The person who is suffering in silence to protect you won't do it forever, not because they'll stop loving you, but because eventually the burden becomes too much to carry alone. And when that point arrives, if you weren't paying attention, if you didn't reciprocate, if you continued passively accepting their sacrifices, it may be too late to save the connection you had. Don't wait until she reaches the point of total exhaustion. Don't wait until she needs to distance herself to preserve her own mental and emotional health. Don't wait until you lose this person to finally realize how much she was doing for you. Act now. Start today. Because every day that passes with you aware but inactive is another day where she continues to carry everything alone, and another piece of her heart that tires of not being seen. The good news is that you still have time. You can still turn this relationship around, balance this dynamic, transform this connection into something even deeper and more beautiful than it was before. You can still show this person that their sacrifices were not in vain, that you are worthy of the love you received, that you too are capable of loving deeply and generously. Share in the comments if this video made you think of someone specific. You don't need to say who it is, but share how you felt realizing that someone might be carrying a burden for you without you knowing. Your reflections can help other Tauruses also awaken to this reality. Subscribe to the channel because in the next videos, I'll teach you exactly how to show gratitude in ways that truly touch the hearts of those who protect you, how to create balance in relationships where you've only been receiving, and how to become the kind of person who not only inspires protection in others, but also offers protection in return. Turn on notifications so you don't miss these essential tips. Taurus, someone is suffering in silence to protect you. You didn't even imagine the extent of it until now, but now you know. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue pretending you didn't see it? Or will you finally become worthy of the extraordinary love you have received by reciprocating it with the same intensity? The choice is yours, but know that this choice will define not only the future of this relationship, but the kind of person you are and want to be. Choose wisely, choose with your heart, and above all, choose now, while there is still time to make a difference in the life of someone who has always made a difference in yours.